right. Hello, everybody. I hope you all are doing well. The crew is back. We're here for week 4 of NFL DFS. It's a good one. I have the one and only Tattoo with me. He's your single entry small field guru. Then we have author of Winning the $1 Million Game wearing his Ohio hat, Burns. He's our numbers guy. Obviously, great GPP player. You have me. I've had some takedowns. And then Raz, one and only GPP savant when it comes to MLB, NFL, college basketball, all of it. But today, we are talking about week 4 of the NFL. Tattoo, how are you feeling about week 4, man? I feel like it's an interesting one, right?
Yeah, a lot of value out there to help make some lineups this week. So, hand building some single entries has been a lot of fun to mix and match and figure out who's going to screw me.
Yeah, that's always the goal when it comes to single entry builds. And y'all, basically the point of this show is we are here to answer your questions. We will highlight pretty much position by position some of the guys that we are landing on, but put your questions in the chat. We'll get to them as many as possible. Appreciate y'all who were here early this morning in the chat. Craig, with the first question, said, who's our favorite or lock receiver for today? Raz, curious to get your thoughts on how you're feeling about the wideout position.
On DK, it's Puka. Like, I'm just not willing to pay that price on FanDuel in a half-point PPR. Like 9,400 or 9,500 or whatever it is on FanDuel. That's insane. But yeah, it's Puka and DK for me.
Okay, I hear you. Burns, is it a different answer for you?
Puka's just going to be owned so much today that, I mean, right now he's projected for over 32%, and in the Millie Maker you can always just add 5 to 10% on top of that, and that's what he's going to be. I love him as a receiver, but if I'm doing 40 to 50, 40% upwards of for Puka, you know what? That's a lot of percentage for a guy to fail. And so if I'm running like entries in the Millie Maker, that's what I'm doing. I may just lower his exposure and not get anything in him in these large field. But I think he's supremely viable in cash and single entry and 3 maxes of low entrant amounts. But man, when you start looking at high entrant amounts for tournaments, this guy is like, I don't know. But honestly, I think the guy that I'm starting to gravitate towards a little bit more, and I loved him on the Tournament Tactics show, is Zay Flowers. I'm rolling him out with Lamar today. I honestly, it's a schematic play for me. He is a very good play against the scheme that he's going up against in KC. So that's where I'm going to run. I'll definitely be over the field on him.
Okay. And then Tattoo, what about you, man? Who are you looking at?
Like for a single stack,
or no, just like a wide receiver that's really
the wide receiver. The one I've seen to go to the most is Sun God, really.
Amon-Ra. All right, I feel you. Yeah, I mean, the Browns defense are shutting down the run. Amon-Ra is a very viable option. For me, it's going back to Nico Collins. I'm not playing Stroud, so I'll have exposure to the other guys in stacks, but Nico is the one I'm really kind of solidifying when I'm making lines. All right, what's up, the King Raheem? Good to see you, man. Jay said
you're silly for the Willie.
Jay said, Burns, who would be your top quarterback to lock for 20 max? And I'll pass this question around to everyone, is just who are you liking in small field contest this week at the quarterback position? But we'll start with you, Burns.
It's 100% ownership leverage play over top of the other 4 o'clock games, and it's Lamar Jackson. He has so much to play for. He could potentially go 1-3 on the year and he could actually be in detriment of making the playoffs going 1-3. So both of these teams are in detriment of going 1-3 and having a very difficult journey upward to making the playoffs this year. So Lamar in a highly competitive game, I believe that he is one. And then my 1B would probably be Jared Goff. I think the under 1% ownership right now is just incredibly low. I understand he's going up against Cleveland Browns defense, and not a lot of people understand that, just because the line is a -10, they got to throw the ball in this game. They're not going to be able to run effectively as between the tackles because Cleveland Browns are very good up front on the defensive front. And so I'm going to be looking at it as a passing situation. And this is where I love Jahmyr Gibbs. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is a viable play in this game as a stacking partner with Jared Goff and also with Amon-Ra and no run backs whatsoever.
Yeah, I totally understand that, especially because it's so hard to figure out who that bring back should be on the KC side with Worthy coming back. Raz, I'm curious to get your thoughts. Who are you looking at the quarterback position as your guy this week?
I'm struggling to narrow it down. I love the Lamar call and started increasing him yesterday. The more I thought about it, but I think I'm going back to Geno and Mariota as my top two. Pricing wise, I think they just fit. I love Mariota's ground game. Without McLaurin, I think that even increases Mariota's rushing touchdown upside, just slightly. I mean, super small increase, but it still is an increase. And Geno and the Raiders are just going to throw the ball a lot. We wanted to use all the Dak last week against Chicago, so why can't we use Geno? So they're not the low owned guys that Burns brought up, but they're just two of my favorite. And then, why not go 100% in a 20 max with Spencer Rattler?
Okay.
I said that just to blow your mind, but
right.
Just in theory, they're supposed to get blown out, right? So if he's going to throw the ball 45 times, and we are still using Olave and Juwan Johnson, it's not like we don't want any exposure to any of that offense at all. So since we're using those guys, why not sprinkle in some Spencer Rattler?
DFS up north, he's with you on that one, I think. I'm not high enough or drunk enough to get there with you all, but I'm happy for you.
There's still time.
Fair. What about you, Tattoo? Who are you looking at? Quarterback?
Well, I am not going to shit on Spencer Rattler because if I do, he'll put up 40 today.
Real?
Well, then please shit on him.
Spencer Rattler's
shit all over him.
Shit. I was really right there with Burns with Lamar and Goff, but to be a little different, I like Drake May a lot. Shock, and I have Mariota, Daniel Jones in there too. But if I locked one, I think I'd lock Lamar.
Yeah. I totally understand the thought process behind Lamar. Ultimately, I'm probably going to be Squidward looking out at y'all having fun because I'm fading Lamar this week. Like you said, Raz, it's just really hard to narrow your quarterback pull down this week because there's a lot of very viable plays. But I'm really just kind of highlighting this 6 to 5K range, and in particular focusing on guys like Caleb Williams, Daniel Jones, Drake May, Geno Smith. Those are my key 4. And then my favorite in that group, I'm with you, Tattoo, of Drake May. I think he has the rushing upside in this matchup against Carolina to be able to get it done. If he focuses on throwing too much, it might look ugly. And then Daniel Jones has just been really good. So those are the 2 guys I'm focusing on there. All right, guys, good to see y'all in the chat. Nolan, I hope, man. I no promises, but I'm hoping. We're looking good so far, though. Omar said, what cash game single entry stack with a run back would y'all recommend the most? Tattoo, with this being a single entry focus question, I'll give it to you. I know the picture might be a little distracting. Is that why you're looking so close? You're like, damn, I see him.
Yeah, I'm blind. Hold on, let me pull up my lineups real quick. I can tell you what I personally did the most.
Okay.
Well, I evenly split everybody. See, Lamar, I don't really like any comebacks.
Mhm.
Not like any of that. I like Marcus Mariota with Debo and comeback with Bijan.
Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. Nolan, I'm with you. Week 4 and 5, it feels like we finally have a little bit of a grip on who these teams are. But this is also litmus test week. Is when we really get to see, are they who they've been showing themselves to be. I see the holier than thou tattoo. Brutus said,
Brutus, I had the brightest phone.
That's real. Brutus said, I hand built my way through my early teens. Did that work out? Did that go well? I hope so. Taylor said, Olave, Jennings, or Tet for FanDuel. Raz, I know you're playing over there. What's your thought process?
I think it's Tet. I think I like his price. Olave, like, I don't know, like, even if he gets 12 targets and 8, 9, 10 catches, like, he's going for what, 60 yards in those 10 catches, the way that they've been utilizing him. I just don't think he fits on FanDuel. And Jennings and all the injury issues and like the not knowing things, I think it's just easy to go to Tet in that question.
Yeah, no, I get it. The targets are there. Will he get a touchdown? That's on Bryce. We'll see. Nolan said, what is going on with Devontae Adams' Q tag? Have we gotten news on that, Raz? I haven't seen anything.
He's expected to play. Let me see if I find the last news, if I can. But yeah, not expected to have major restrictions in week 4, but also in the same statement, the Rams will be smart with him. I don't know what that means. And it's annoying because I was using a lot of Devontae, especially on FanDuel, where he's, 2,200 or 2,400 cheaper than Puka. So that's a little annoying, but, I guess I'm just going to roll with it and hope, they're rolling him out. They're not expecting to have major restrictions. So I guess he's, fairly healthy enough.
Yeah, no, I have some exposure to him, but I'm definitely nervous. I mean, I think the way to interpret it is he's probably going to be limited. You're going to use him situationally. I'm willing to take shots there because he has the talent, but definitely just going to have a ton of Puka now in my Daniel Jones lineups as a bring back. Ken Kneef, you're right, man. Golf under 1%. Burns and I were talking about it on Tactics. We're with you. Well, it's still a tough matchup, though, so don't go too crazy, but it's a solid spot. Nathan, we just touched on that. Fatal Fam said, what up, fellas? The DS is giving me a lot of Chris Olave. Burns, I'm curious to get your thoughts. Do you like Olave this week, or are you not getting him?
Oh, I'm getting him in runs because it's just naturally giving it to me.
Mm-hmm.
But there are other guys in that range that are great or viable, not great. I don't think you can actually, with all the domination station producing a lot of Olave, just know that all the optimizers across the industry are doing the same exact thing. And so you need to, in that realm, you can think of things a little differently and say, well, okay, who can I go to that would actually be different? A guy that could be different at the exact same price point is Michael Pittman, who could actually get it done today in a game that could actually shoot out more than any other game on the entire slate. And so those are the kind of thoughts you have to have. There are also other guys that are in that same salary range that could produce as well. So
Yeah, and you don't even have to completely fade Olave to do that. So a good example is my last run, I had 24% Olave, but I had 20% Pittman. So I'm basically matching the field on Olave. If he goes off, I'm fine. Everyone's fine. But Pittman, with me being double the field, gives me a little bit more leverage. So it's one of those interesting spots from like a GPP standpoint. You can play both. When you're looking at single entry, that's when you really have to make those am I going to or not decisions. Nolan, appreciate the dono, $5, said, Burns, if more news comes out about Adams being limited or out, does this change your fade Puka stance?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't really know. It's just he's going to be great. He's a great receiver. And then when he becomes the only guy, and he's just going to ball out. But in that realm, not all of those targets are going to go right to him that Devontae Adams is now limited or not going to have. Tyler Higbee becomes a probability. You got guys like you got other guys on that offense that become viability options as well. So his ownership will just skyrocket that much more if it becomes to be.
Mile High said, Burns, is there a pay down defense that the numbers point to, or are you paying up this week? And I'll pass this one around to everyone. Go ahead and talk through defenses that are standing out for you. I feel like this is a little bit of a weird week for defenses, so I am curious to get everyone's thoughts. But Burns, what are your thoughts here first?
Yeah, there are a couple of low salary defenses that I'm going to be looking at this week. And they're both favorites. One of them is the Rams. They're home. They're favored at home. So they're definitely in my pool. Another one that I like, and when the lines flipped and they became the favorite, I added them in, is the Falcons. And then I've been on the Ravens. They're just 2,700. But I'm not getting much lower than that. The Falcons are probably going to be where I get as low as I possibly can, but more likely than not, I'm going to be living in the 3K plus range.
Mm-hmm. Tattoo, any defenses stand out for you that you like?
I have been using a ton of the Titans. Despite being on the road and probably the underdog, but yeah, I think Stroud sucks. And a lot of Chargers again on the road, but got a rookie, so I'll pick on them.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Raz, any other defenses stand out for you, or does that cover it?
Yeah, there are 4 cheaper defenses that I'm going somewhat heavier on over the field, and they're disgusting. Well, one of them Tattoo just brought up in the Titans, just because I'm picking on CJ Stroud. But then the Jaguars in San Francisco, I get it, but the Jaguars defense has actually looked decent. And with the injuries that San Francisco's had on offense, some timing and issues could come up. I think there's an upside to them. The Giants at home, everybody's on Hampton and the Chargers, and I get it for a reason, but the Giants defensive line is really strong, and it is a West Coast team traveling east for a noon, I guess 1 Eastern start time. So it's traditionally a spot where we've seen some weird things happen. So I'm going to play some Giants. And then the other one to make everybody puke is I am going to play the Browns defense a little bit against the Lions.
All right.
We just saw the defense get to Jordan Love, a bunch of sacks, etc. And one of the questions on the offensive side of the ball for the Lions coming into the year was the offensive line with the sudden retirement and that sort of thing. So I think there's some upside for some sacks. And if the Lions offense doesn't click like everybody expects them to at home, I think there's some advantages to doing that at, just a $2,200 defense.
Okay, fair. And I think y'all touched on most of the defenses that I'm looking at as well.
I do like New England too.
New England? Yeah, I think New England makes a lot of sense. Everyone's playing the Texans, so that's not unique. So, yeah, I think y'all covered the bases there. Mo said, who's your favorite quarterback stack for the Millie? We talked about quarterbacks that we like in single entry, we feel pretty comfortable with in general. Burns, I know you already gave us 2 pretty low-owned quarterbacks. Is there anyone else that you're looking at?
Yeah, I'm going right back to the well on Jalen Hurts. Let me just pull up my quarterbacks. I'm going right back to the well on Jalen Hurts. I will have ownership in Matthew Stafford this week. I will have ownership in Brock Purdy, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, and I will have ownership in Josh Allen. And these are all MME runs for me. So that's the way I'm going. I'm really trying to look at the ownerships. I'm really trying to stay close to my numbers, my implied team total numbers. And, these are all quarterbacks that are in games that are pretty much the highest projected implied team totals in my numbers. So
cool. Tattoo, what about you? Any silly for the Millie quarterback you like?
Puke if you would like, but Joe Flacco.
Okay. I think your boy Sean was talking about Flacco too. Why do you like him?
I just think they're going to have to be throwing, a lot to keep up. And he pulls one out of his ass, once in a while.
Yeah.
But, am I going to do it? No. But
that's your pick. Raz, what about you? You already mentioned Rattler. I feel like that has to be your pick, right? Or am I off?
I think it has to, we're looking at ownership really is the silly for the Millie call, right? So it's got to be Rattler or, Goff because of his super ridiculously low ownership at home.
Yep.
I kind of like Jackson Dart a little bit for that, but
yeah,
there's a group of Dart fans out there, they're basically Giants fans.
You're the one that drafted him first.
That just absolutely love him or are super excited to be able to play him this week. So that's why he's approaching 5%. But there's athleticism to him. He has an elite wide receiver that he can rely on. And then Scatterbo showed last week that he can catch a ton of passes out of the backfield. So there's a route for a guy like that to, at 4,500 when we're playing, Daniel Jones when he's super cheap just because of what it allows us to do. There's definitely a 0% chance that Jackson Dart's in the Millie Maker winning lineup.
Agreed. For me, it's Goff and Dart, and you touched on all the reasons why, and Burns touched on all the reasons why for Goff earlier, so I'm with y'all. Chuck said, Burns, do you like Bijan or Jameer more for running back? Good question, because I'm sure, as you know, Chuck, Burns likes both, so let's make him choose one. And I'll also talk to everyone about the running back position, just to kind of get your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm running both of these guys at a high percentage of my MME runs. Right now, I believe in my last run, I have over 35% of Jahmyr Gibbs. That means that I increased my percentage of global max to 40% on him. And I'm really thinking the same thing for Bijan Robinson as well. I like them both equally, but if I had to choose one over the other, I think I would probably go Bijan in this one because I think Mariota can actually keep up on the other side of the ball for Atlanta in that Atlanta-Washington game. So Mariota with Washington and Debo, I think, and don't forget Zach Ertz if you're going to run a Mariota lineup out or two. He's looking really good and he's projecting well in the domination station. But, it's really splitting hairs here because I really like both of these guys a lot. Today, and I got into why I like Jahmyr. I think a lot of people are going to be scared off of him because of the fact that Cleveland is the number 2 defense against the run this year so far, but he is extremely viable through the air. he's actually more viable through the air than he is on the ground. So I love him for that.
Yeah, I'm with you. For me, it's right now I have more Bijan than Jameer, but they're 1 and 2.
Yeah.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
Any other running backs you like, Burns, while we're on the subject?
I'm trying to understand why there's a negative prop projection to the regular prop projection on James Cook, but it might be because of the spread on the game. So I'm kind of like trying to figure out what I want to do there. But other guys that I like, I'm starting to get on a little bit on Swift. I just think he could have some run today. I actually don't mind it at all. Other guys that I think this is going to be crazy, but I'm starting to get on Chuba Hubbard, and I actually like him a good bit. Yes, he is an underdog, but he's on the road. He's not at home. And that's a great spot because I don't think the Patriots defense can actually stop him when he's in the red zone. So I think it's a very slim play by all stretch. It's not a great play. It's a slim play, but the metrics make sense, and I don't mind it at all.
Hey, a 3% owned play, I can never really get too mad at. So
What was that accent?
I don't know where it came from. I was like, oh, that's different. That's different.
3%.
Hey, I live down south.
Yeah,
Sometimes it comes out a little
southern.
bit.
We're
Sometimes
southern.
it comes out. Tattoo, what about you, man? Who do you like at running back?
Bijan is actually my top owned running back.
Mm-hmm.
I really love Kyron Williams. Have a lot of Hampton, Scattaboo. I actually like James Cook a lot. Jonathan Taylor, Gibbs. I had a lot of running backs. Etienne, Chuba, Uba.
Yeah, you're getting a good mix in there. I hear you. What about you, Raz? Anyone stand out for you?
Man, I mean, like, to me, I'm shocked that James Cook isn't projected to be higher owned in this spot. As what are they favorites? 15.5 point home favorites.
Yeah. What do you want? It's like the second highest owned.
Yeah, but I mean, 18%. Like, I mean, that doesn't feel like a high number. Like, yeah, in comparison to running backs, yes, he's second highest, but like the percentage, the actual number itself, being 14% less than even McCaffrey, just seems weird. Just a couple percentage points higher than Bijan. But in that same thought, like, I'm actually playing Ray Davis in a couple, like, because we've seen in some other blowout games where like James Cook doesn't really get second half run, or like they alternate series because they're winning. We saw it last year. Ty Johnson can mix in there, but I'm not going to gamble with Ty Johnson. I'm just going to, hope that like we get a quarter and a half of Ray Davis running the football every down or whatever. Other guys, like I am using a little Quinshon Judkins. I don't like the Browns offense at all, but he looked decent against that tough Packers defense. The same defense that everybody was absolutely in love with and calling the best defense in football last week. So if he can do it against them, why not against Detroit? Because he's clearly their number one back and is going to get touches no matter what. So he's the one that feels like everybody's overlooking because they can play Scattaboo and they can play Hampton just for a few $100s more. The other guy down there that I'm going to play is Travion. I think it's time for Travion to lead the backfield.
Yes.
I don't know that it's going to be. Like, I don't expect the coaching staff to just hand 100% over or anything.
Yeah.
But, like, just give me a week where he gets, like, 65% of the backfield touches just to see what he can do in this type of matchup. Or
just, like, 3 to 5 targets, get him the ball in open space, and he has a touchdown right there. It has to happen. And he's mine too. Travion Henderson's my sneaky running back play of the week. I'm significantly over the field on him. But to make sure I'm not too pissed if Ramondre Stevenson actually ends up being the guy, I am also over the field on Stevenson too, and they're not showing up in the same lineup. And even with that being said, I don't have more than like 10% of these guys, so you don't have to go too crazy. So I really like that spot. What about you, Tattoo? No, we talked about running back with you. So yeah, we touched on that with everybody.
Yeah, I named all of them.
No, you're good. You're good. Code Rez, good to see you, man. Eric Barger said, I'm running 4 different 20 maxes. Do I use the same quarterback for all or choose one different for each? I think, do you mean you're running 4 lineups in the 20 max?
I think he's running 4 20 maxes, like 80 lineups.
So I would do one
use
quarterback
one in each.
20 max run. Yeah.
And would you use one for all of those, Raz?
No,
one for each.
Oh,
one
for
per
each.
20 run. Yeah, one for each run. Like I would. So like then you could either put all 20 into the same contest, or if you wanted to be a little different, like you could put 5 of each quarterback in each one of those 20 maxes. Like since I randomize a lot of my lineups and stuff, that's probably what I would end up doing. But like I also don't hate just doing all 20 in the same one. And like if he goes off, like you're, all 20 of your lineups end up in the top 100 or something, and you really, show up. But
no, I get that. Sean, one of the NHL coaches, said if y'all want good takes like Joe Flacco is a good play, come play NHL next week and hit the Discord. Great transition. Appreciate that, Sean. We all work for DFS Army. We've all been members and we've grown to being coaches because we've had a lot of success. Our Discord's fantastic. The DS has helped a lot of us have some fantastic takedowns. If you're interested in seeing our notes, being able to use the optimizer, being in the Discord, we have had multiple $1 million winners who are active in that Discord. We've all had huge takedowns as well. If you want more access, click the link in the description. And you can join DFS Army and make that happen. And then NHL is next week. I know Burns Tattoo, y'all are probably super psyched for that.
I may be a little chubba right now.
Is like the takes of Joe Flacco being a good play really a positive endorsement for our offerings? Because in my head, I'm like, I think I want to run far away.
Silly for the milli. I also did say I would not play him.
No.
I would play golf.
I'm not endorsing him.
We did get some Washington news that Bill is active and playing. Christian Gonzalez is playing defensive back for the New England Patriots. He used to be good at one point. I just don't know if he's healthy enough to be good.
Last year. Yeah, it's just
I don't know. Like, is he expected to shadow Tet or?
I don't know. So few guys shadow these days. I don't know if Gonzalez does in particular. But that does make me a little bit more concerned about Tet. That's part of why Tet's not the guy I love this week, but I still have exposure because the targets will still be there. Bryce isn't the brightest to avoid good cornerback, so he's still going to take his shots.
That's because he doesn't care. He likes to be aggressive. He's the shorter version of Brett Favre.
He's a predator
without the arm strength and
the
ability to win games. And
is it aggressive? Is it ignorance? I'm all for. I'm hoping he has a game today, though. We'll see. Code Rez said, "What's a good percentage of ownership cap for FanDuel?" Raz, do you have a go-to for that?
I don't, unfortunately.
No. He's talking about the projected ownership cap in the DS. This is a setting that a lot of us use. I have one for DK, but I don't know if things are a little bit different on FanDuel.
I'm at 90 on FanDuel.
Okay. You said you don't have one, Raz?
I don't know of one. I haven't played around enough. Like, it's tough. I'd play around, basically do what Geek does for DK when he does his setup and run it pretty much blind just to see what you're getting and then shave 30-40% off of that number to start. And then you just kind of look at the the spread of plays that you end up getting out of that, right? Like, because you shouldn't just set a number and then be like, all right, I'm good, and then take the first run that you get out of it. You do want to kind of go through the pool and make sure you're not getting too much or too little, and then rerun it again.
Yeah. I'm at 100 on DK. Burns, where are you?
I'm at 100. DK, FanDuel, I couldn't give you a good percentage. I don't play on FanDuel. They won't let me play on FanDuel for some reason.
Yeah,
so
they stopped me. That's where I started. I had a lot of success there, but they don't want me to be happy there. It's fine.
They just gave me a bunch of free cash yesterday.
Tattoo, you're rubbing it in. You're rubbing it in.
I don't play there a whole lot, so I was like kind of surprised.
Like, hey, why not? Why not?
I'm only playing there because of their promotion. It's led me to have some money on, and then they just started their pick thing, so they gave me $60 free in that too. So like, they're just giving me money to play. Otherwise, I absolutely hate FanDuel. I'll be honest and announce it. Like, I very much dislike FanDuel.
Damn. Okay. Tell me how you really feel, man. I'm happy for y'all that y'all can play.
I can keep going. Like, there are plenty of reasons why I dislike them, but yeah, they're just nowhere near DK.
I think Brady's trying to get us a sponsorship with them, so I'm not going to say too much.
I love FanDuel.
I just won't be on a FanDuel show. That's fine.
Yeah, they're going to say, Raz, definitely not on that pod.
That's
Jonathan
fine.
said, Trey Tucker going off again. Maybe not like last time, but I can see 20 fantasy points. I
mean,
Tattoo, do you have any interest in Trey Tucker this week?
Yeah, I didn't get there, my single entry stuff, but I mean, yeah, he's fine.
He's a dart thrower. He saw solid targets last week, which explains his crazy performance. Burns, any interest for you of Tucker?
Yeah, I mean he's okay play today. He's 4,200, which means he's 900 below guys that I like better, and that I want to roster more in my lineups. So I don't know that. I understand people want to get that, oh man, I missed it last week, I got to get it this week type thing. But guess what? That's what burns most DFS players. Play the day of the day. Don't chase the prior stuff. Really? So that's why I think a lot of he's low owned, so he's not going to be like, nobody's going to be like, oh my god, yeah, I gotta have him. No, I like the guys in that 5K, 4,900 and above range. And then I got some dart throws down below him. Like, I think Josh Downs is a better play today than him. Parker Washington. Yeah, there's a couple other plays in that range that are even better than him. People aren't talking about Cedric Tillman, so watch Cedric Tillman have a day. So there's just those kind of things, right?
Yeah, even Renfro, if you're worried about Gonzalez now covering Tet, another viable option. And all of those guys are a fraction of the ownership of a guy like Tucker. Tucker's not your typical, hey, he got 2 touchdowns and it was only off of 2 receptions. So I do understand why a decent amount of ownership is there now, but he's really only showing up in my Geno stacks currently. Raz, it looks like you're angry about this entire conversation. Do you hate Trey Tucker?
He's at a whipped cream. He's upset.
Trey Tucker is Rashid Shaheed.
In a good way?
In a current, he is my previous Rashid Shaheed, not this year's version. The targets are there, right? Like, there's plenty of targets. So, I hate the idea of it looking like I'm chasing 3 touchdowns, but I'm not. I'm chasing the target volume that he's been getting. But also to offset myself, I'm playing a little Dante Thornton. The rookie wide receiver that they had come in that won a starting role right away. 4 targets per week, but still, he's a big play guy that's the 2-3 targets and scores a long touchdown play. But he's somebody that, if he does something like that, it probably takes away from Trey Tucker more than it takes away from Jacoby Myers or Brock Bowers.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if that Chiefs-Ravens game goes off, I'm just screwed because I don't have a lot of exposure to it, but I understand. All right. Beebs in the trap said, hey guys, DFS Army member here. I have a 555 single entry ticket. Nice that you won. I'm stuck between Puka, Pittman, Kyron, or Puka, Adane, CMC, or Puka, Downs, Nico. It's a 400-man field, and it's a Dart, Cook, Hampton, Gadsden build. Burns, I'm curious to get your thoughts here. I know you play a decent amount of this, and then Tattoo. I'll pass it to you after that.
I think I think this is the. Is this? Yeah. Okay. Let me look at this. Man, to be honest with you, I'm not going to tell you what to do because your lineup should be your lineup. And how you craft it should be the way that you craft it. And and it doesn't seem like you're nervous about the fact that it's $555 and you got it on a satellite. So you're really not out $555. You're only out what you paid for that satellite to get to it. But I'm not playing Dart today because I don't think he can get it done against the Chargers. He needs 16 points. I don't know if he can get there. I think he's going to be around 12 to 13 points. But if I'm running this, I am pairing him with Malik Neighbors. That's a given. He is not, you can't have a Dart lineup without Malik Neighbors in it whatsoever. So if this is the way you're going to run, I would definitely run Dart with Malik Neighbors. And that's probably that could pull you off of Puka. Or it could actually keep you on to Puka, but now you have to get off of one of these other guys. But that's how I build. But I can understand the naked Dart play. For me, I would rather go Lamar in this lineup, and I play high dollar single entry, and that's the way I'm going. So,
Tattoo, any additional thoughts?
Now I fully agree with what Burns said. If I was forced to just go ahead and pick one of those for his question, it would be Puka, Pittman, Kieran.
Yep. And
I still I agree. If you got Dart, you need Neighbors.
Yeah, I would go Neighbors, then
even
Puka.
Scatterboo. I might, if he goes off, might bring both of them along if Scatterboo's catching a bunch of passes.
Yeah, I think that's a good call too. And I think that would probably mean you might not be able to afford Puka or even guys like Nico or CMC. So it really changed the shape of your lineup. So I wish you luck, man.
I mean, I would just take the Puka Downs and then Neighbors instead of Nico. Like
so
if you're set, if you're set going with Dart, which is fine. Like just take Nico down to Neighbors. I don't know if your lineup has money left over or whatever, because then you can play up from Downs if you need to. Because I'm not a huge Downs guy, but I understand the correlation in that build. But for me, if it's Dart, that's the one I'm going with. I think the Puka CMC Adane one is probably the smartest one from a floor standpoint. But like if you're trying to win that, which I think you are by playing Dart, then just take Nico down to Neighbors and take that trio.
Yep, I agree. I really agree with your take there, Raz. There, then. Mr. Jacob said Drake May or Geno and Cash. Tattoo, what are your thoughts on that?
Drake May day all day.
Sweet. Metallican said Tommy Tremble nuts play.
That's for you.
Is that for me? I struggle seeing the Panthers offense move the ball in general. And so that's why I typically don't have a lot of faith in their offense. Tommy Tremble, the targets will be there. He should see at least 3 to 5. It's just how efficient will they be against this Patriots defense? I'm not overly optimistic. Let me see if I have any exposure. I don't think so. I have
Didn't some of the tight end
lineup out of 300.
snaps
so
get spread out?
Yeah. He's not crazy. He's
Like-
a viable play, but I don't love him. What are your thoughts, though, Raz?
Didn't they spread out the tight end snaps last week a little bit more? Like Tremble didn't get all of them. Like Mitchell Evans got like 35% of them or something. And like, I don't really
The
love
big
it.
thing is that Sanders is hurt. He's
Well,
out.
right. But like, what did Sanders get hurt last week or in the game or whatever?
He was in there for a little bit. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
but I'm just saying, like, Mitchell Evans is going to take some of this stuff too. It's not like Tommy Tremble's just stepping into 100% role. So like in that regard, at least just play Arondé Gadsden the second. Like if you want the upside from that play, like they're more likely to end up with the same amount, but in the event you want upside, like Gadsden just got a lot more upside and he's $100 cheaper on DK.
Yeah, I just struggle to take shots on offenses I don't see in a positive environment. I would much rather play Cole Kmet, to be honest with you. A couple $100 more expensive, but I just think it's a better play. Dark Wolf said, how much London do you have? Raz, I'll go back to you. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm getting more than I thought I would right now, because his, one of the things is his props projection is outpacing his regular projection.
Yep.
So, and I'm running by props projection in our DS, so like I'm getting more that way. I do want to believe that it's a little bit of a bounce back after a complete embarrassment for the Falcons, but it's hard to ignore the fact that Darnell Mooney got targeted so much last week in comparison. It does make you wonder if London is completely healthy. Didn't he have like a shoulder or something issue going on too? So it's tough. Like I'm going to be overweight on the field, just because 14%, I'll probably end up in the 20 to 25 range, but it's one that does worry me a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me nervous
because
because he sucked last week, but he's my highest owned receiver. So if he fails, things probably aren't looking great. Burns, did you do anything to limit him?
No, I haven't limited him at all, and he's popping in the highest percentage of ownership for me.
Mm-hmm. All right, Tin Knief, I appreciate the dono. Once again, said, didn't hear anyone mention CMC when talking about running backs. What are y'all doing with his ownership? I like Bijan, Gibbs, Cook, but it gets pricey. That's real. Burns, what are your thoughts here?
CMC when talking running backs. Yeah, he's a great play day, week in, week out when he's on the main slate. I like him. And I'm not limiting him, or I'm not trying to get more of him. It's just going to be about 30% of him, and that's really what I want. That's going to be under field ownership, which I really don't mind because he's the highest salaried running back on the slate, and he needs to produce 30 plus. I just think Bijan has a better path, so doesn't Gibbs. But I like him a lot too, so.
Yeah, I'm with you. I have exposure, but he's only showing up in about 20% of my lineups right now. And that's just the way it's going to have to be. I'm not going to tinker that. Tattoo, for your single entry lineups, are you interested in CMC or are you prioritizing the other guys instead?
No, I'm using him. He's not in all of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of Bijan and a lot of Cook too, and Hampton and Scatterboos scattered throughout. But yeah, no problem with CMC.
Sweet. All right. Let's see. Raymond said Bryce Young, silly for the millie. Couldn't be me, man. Could not be me. Yeah, you're right. Like the Panthers defense is sneaky good, especially in their secondary right now. Robert said Jesus loves Purdy this week on FanDuel. I kind of like this game on both sides. What are your thoughts? Raz, what do you think about Purdy this week?
I think he makes a lot of sense. I mean, he just projects well, and it's the FanDuel pricing. I think he's 6,600. I have to look. I'm bringing it up again just to make sure I'm not
65, I believe.
He's 66, but
66.
like he's the same price as Mariota, cheaper than Bryce Young and Trevor Lawrence. The min price quarterback over there is $6K, so like he's close to min price. A lot of upside at home. Like it's hard to not play him. Obviously, I do have some worries about his pass catchers, all like dealing with questionable tags and stuff. But FanDuel's the site that I want to be overweight on with him. Like I'll be underweight on DK, I think, just because I want to be overweight on FanDuel at that price point.
Yeah, on FanDuel, it makes too much sense of him being so cheap. On DK, I didn't get there at all. Tristan said, Josiah, what's your take on Carolina stacks and large field GPPs? Couldn't be me.
He loves them.
Couldn't
Loves
be
it.
me. I honestly just can't find a great case for it, especially with Gonzalez back for the Patriots. I'm fine with one-offs, just like one guy, but I don't love stacking Carolina. Burns, no Baker Mayfield at like 2% ownership.
Not today. I don't like him without Mike Evans on the field. I just think Mike Evans, if you were to have Mike Evans, Godwin, and Ibuka on this field of play this week, it would be so much better. Tristan Wirfs is out of this game. They got injuries on their offensive line. He can go off. I mean, he's done it before. But I'm just not interested in this week.
Yeah, I agree. Robert
Is
said,
Wirfs out? I thought he was returning.
Yeah.
From what I saw earlier this week around Friday, he was out.
No, I think he's back, right?
Well,
I thought he was back, but I mean, it's still like I'm off of Baker too. Like him dealing with an elbow or whatever he's got going on, along with missing Mike Evans. And I normally play Baker every week just because he's that kind of guy. Like he puts up a ton of second half points, especially when they're trailing, and they probably do end up trailing in this game. But still, like there's just so many questions right now offensively that I can't play every quarterback. Like I may be making 800 to 1,000 lineups overall, but I'm not playing 16 quarterbacks on a slate.
My guy, 800 to 1,000. That's crazy.
Well,
I thought me at 300. Usually I stick to 150, but I was switching it up this week. All right. Robert said, can you show us what you mean by global max in the DS? Yes. So it's basically the exposure maximum right here. You can do it for all players, and you can put a cap, like a 50 or 35 or 65, whatever your heart desires. And that puts a global max on all players that you won't have more than that percentage in your lineups.
Got a question for you guys before we move on to this one.
Yeah, what's up?
And this might help people in the comments. I just can't remember. Did we touch on cash quarterback? Who are you guys using?
I don't think we really.
Who do you like?
Really.
Who do you like, Tattoo?
My single entry quarterbacks are Daniel Jones, Williams, Mariota, Jackson, and May.
What about you, Raz?
I think on DK, I'm going back to Mariota. On FanDuel, like I'm just playing Purdy at 6,600.
Yeah, my single entry quarterback is going to be Caleb Williams, and I was between Williams and May. I still haven't really made that call yet. But for cash, I would do Williams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where I'm between him and Lamar right now. Kind of where I'm bouncing back and forth between.
Yeah. All right, cool. Favorite sneaky low-owned plays on the slate to kind of wrap things up. I don't know who's ready, so I'll go ahead and just go first. For me, it's Travion Henderson. We talked about the risk. It's obviously there. He sucks at blocking right now. He could easily barely see any touches in this game. And so then it goes to Ramondre Stevenson, who's still in a smash spot against this Carolina defense that struggles to tackle players. Bijan didn't come through in like a slate-breaking way. He still had 100-plus yards in that game. He just couldn't get a touchdown because the rest of the offense stunk. Patriots should be able to move the ball a bit better. They did it last week against the Steelers. They just fumbled at every opportunity once they got closer to the goal line. I don't think that happens this week. So for me, it's Henderson. If we do position by position, I'll do Dart at quarterback. Receiver, I really like DJ Moore this week. It goes well with my Williams stacks. And then I don't really have a tight end or a defense that's super sneaky. Tattoo, what about you?
I would Golf would be the quarterback. NTN would be the running back. Wide receiver. Where did this thing go? Trying to get it down to the lower here. You took DJ Mo.
I like Lad McConkey too a lot.
God, this hurts to say.
But that makes it better. It's always better if it hurts.
Jerry Judy.
Lad's just going to show up a lot naturally. You don't even have to do anything to get him.
That helped a lot too. Jerry Judy, yeah, Judy showed up for me in my bringbacks and my golf stacks, which I liked a lot. Do you have any sneaky like tight end or defensive plays?
Tight end, I think Kincaid.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Burns, what about you? Who are you looking at?
We're talking about low-owned guys, right?
Mm-hmm. Like your favorite sneaky plays each position.
At the quarterback position, I talked about him earlier, Jared Goff. I mean, he's the lowest owned viable at home quarterback on the entire slate. Also, you got at the running back position, I touched on him a little bit, but I don't think you can get anything more viable than that 3.4% ownership. Chuba Hubbard, he's done it before when he's been low owned like this, and everybody forgets about him in that 6K flat line salary range, and everybody's going to Marion Hampton and maybe even a little bit lower to like Scattaboo and some other guys in that range. But he's a guy that's highly viable. He's done it before. He's been winning million maker lineups before, just as recently as earlier this year. He was in one in week one in the top 20. Another guy that in this salary range of the 55 and plus to 6K, Travis Etienne. I don't think you have to do much to get him into your lineups, but he's viable as well. At the wide receiver range, let me just sort by ownership here. Get lower than 10%. Zay Flowers for me. I'm running a lot of Lamar Jackson today. Another guy that's just naturally showing up for me in domination station runs, and I'm not even going to do anything about it. I'm just going to let it run and see what it does. But it is BTJ. He's naturally showing up in around, 17% of lineups for me, and I didn't do anything. Let's see, anybody else in this range?
Okay, that did not happen to me with BTJ, so I'm going to rerun so it does happen. I like that. I like guys that we've been crapping on.
Yeah, other guys that are, that will pop for me because I'm running a good amount of Jalen Hurts, and I don't know if I'm in love with it or not, is Devonta Smith. He's sub 6% ownership. He's a viable play. He popped off last week. I think they're going to have to do it this week again. And then at the tight end range, a guy that I recently put on my cheat sheets, Cole Kmet. There's no Colson Loveland in this one, but I think a guy that is going overlooked, and I don't know if a lot of optimizers are going to put him in the lineups, is Zach Ertz. I think he is in a very good spot from a schematic standpoint, and there's no Terry McLaurin in this one, so I think he makes a lot of sense. And then obviously I like Brock Bowers a lot. And then sub 10% ownership, you're going to get a lot of defenses in this range. But I really think, the Chargers are a highly viable defense in that against the Giants, but they're on the road. If we want to just like on the home guys. I really think the Rams could actually pull off an interesting high single-digit score to low double-digit score and potentially be the winning defense because of that. I don't think we see the scores that we saw last week, but you never know.
Raz, I didn't forget about you, but Zola had a really good question. Thoughts on Likely, especially with you all having a bit more interest in Lamar than I have right now. Are you seeing Likely show up at all, or does that maybe make you like Andrews less? Burns, I know you're a big Lamar guy.
I'm not really. I mean, I think Andrews is going to be fine. I don't know how much Likely he's going to get run coming off of that injury. So I'm not really all that worried about it. But to be honest with you, I don't even think I'm getting Andrews in runs right now. So I really don't think it's a necessity that you have to have him.
Yeah. Sean, no, I think Genty shows up a good amount. He just, isn't sexy, but I'm with you. What about you, Raz? Who are your sneaky plays?
Quarterback, like, I'm just gonna echo Goff again. Like, he's just the one that clearly stands out at that super low ownership. Running back, talked on it, Quinshon Judkins. In that same price range, the ETN area where everybody's trying to pivot off of Hampton, Scatabo. So Judkins for me. Wide receiver, I have 3 names. Jameson Williams. Like, if we're liking
Really like
Goff a lot, like, he's 1.5% or something. I scrolled off of that page, but like, he's sub 2% right now.
I had to do a lot to force him into Goff lineups, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to adjust some things. Another one in a team that we expect to put up a ton of points today is Keon Coleman. Zero discussion about him because everybody wants to talk about James Cook and them just destroying him. And like, I believe in Cook today, but if the game goes the other way and that Buffalo destroys them because they pass a bunch of touchdowns, like, Keon Coleman has to be in play. And then the really, really out there one, a wide receiver for Washington, Jalen Lane.
Whoa, Lane! I thought you were gonna say McCaffrey.
No,
Lane. Okay, why? Lane. Why Lane?
He's got some hype from some other sites too. He's got some ability and stepping into probably a little bit of your role. Like, handful of targets wouldn't be out of the question downfield wise, because like, Debo's not getting downfield targets. Ertz definitely isn't getting downfield targets. Like, they need somebody. And I think McCaffrey's touchdown was kind of more fluky, and like, they were running out the clock a little bit, and they found themselves in 3rd down and trying to get the 1st down, and like, it just turned into a touchdown. So he's just kind of a dart guy that, like, he's sub 1%. Like, you put in 3% of your total lineups, 2 lineups with Mariota or something, and he scores a 60-yarder. So that's the one that feels weirdest, but like, I just like the possibilities with it. Tight ends.
I have a bunch of.
What was that?
Like, tight end wise, there's just a bunch. I'm going to Kyle Pitts at 6%.
Okay.
Since I talked about my fear of London, a little bit, and just getting out, like, you guys are ending up with a bunch of London. Like, I'm scaling it back a little bit because I want a little bit more exposure to Pitts. He's been getting enough targets, so it's just a matter of touchdowns happening. And then Gadsden, I guess, like, getting a little too much steam from some other sites throughout the week. So, like, that worries me. Plus, he is, the second tight end. So it's not like he's stepping into the starting tight end role. He's just stepping into the second tight end spot.
Sure.
But there's a lot of coach speak this week about how he's earned more targets because of what he's shown so far. So he's that guy for me.
Tattoo, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just gonna say that I had a fair amount of Lane in like some best ball stuff, so I liked him too.
Y'all are getting in the weeds there. But whenever there's a top end wideout that goes down, I never have a problem with taking shots on the low owned players who could step into a bigger role. It's when they get chalky where it's gross. Zolo, you actually helped me realize I have 9% Nick Chubb right now, and that's kind of disgusting because he's not looking great right now, but I might lower it to around 5%, which is still going to be significantly over the field, but I don't love Nick Chubb as a play, to be honest, but the DS does, so I'll follow its lead. All right, y'all. That's the show. Appreciate y'all for sticking with us. We'll be back next week. If you're not in the Discord, get in the Discord so we can be celebrating it hopefully here this afternoon. I wish you all luck. Peace out.
Quentin Johnson touchdown.